Welcome to Massive Late Fee. And now your hosts, Mark and Carol.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me as always is my wife, Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It is October 8th, 1999.
It is.
What do you think of it? What do you think of October 8th?
I think that it's fall-like and chilly and crunchy.
It's crunchy. You got it. Your favorite word when it revolves around fall.
Yes.
Crunchiness.
I think it smells delicious.
Like a crunchy roll.
The fuck is a crunchy roll?
Like sushi, you know?
No.
You don't?
I don't know what a crunchy roll is, no.
No, it's got stuff on it. That makes it crunchy.
That sounds awesome.
It has fall leaves smashed in it. And it makes it crunchy.
Gross. Oh.
You like sushi?
I guess so, yeah.
We go to Noble Fish sometimes and have sushi.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think I ever had the fucking crunchy roll.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to have everything. You can have a California roll. You can be basic.
Basic?
Yeah.
You're basic, whatever the fuck that means.
What the fuck are you talking about? Are you insane right now?
I guess so.
Yeah, I think you are. Like, way off the rails insane. I don't even know what you're thinking of.
I'm thinking of fucking California rolls wrapped in fucking leaves. That's what I'm thinking.
Is that what you're thinking of?
Gross.
Philadelphia rolls. Soy sauce. Yeah, pretend like you don't know what sushi is. Fucking freak. This is the love of my life, everyone.
He's so nice to me.
Speaking of nice, we watched... So, Carol, during this introduction, I made you kind of mad, huh?
A little bit.
Have I driven you crazy?
Oh my God.
Because we watched Drive Me Crazy.
We watched Drive Me Crazy with Melissa Joan Hart, who we were just talking about last week, was posing in Maxim magazine in her very adult looking poses and clothing, and now she's pretending to be a teenage girl.
In an adult movie. Well, this isn't an adult movie.
I was going to say that not quite our X rating there, sir.
So, she's in this... So it's Melissa Joan Hart and Adrian Grenier.
Like the cheese?
Not Gruyere.
That's what it sounded like.
I don't know how to say his dumb last name.
Okay.
He's a dumb-looking kid.
He's not dumb-looking.
You think he's attractive?
He's a cutie.
Okay. Chase is his name in this. And Melissa Joan Hart is, I don't know, something.
Yeah, he's Chase. I think her name's Megan. I think. I don't know.
I don't think so. But
whatever. And she likes Brad, who is like the most stereotypical Brad I've ever seen.
Exactly. He looks exactly like a Brad.
When I was a kid, I had this game. Oh my God, what the fuck was it called? Where it was like Blind Date, I think is what they called it. And we had cards.
Mystery Date?
No, it was not Mystery Date.
Open the door for your...
No. Okay, so we had cards with pictures of dudes on them. And then cards with descriptions of dudes on them. And like you'd shuffle them up and match up the picture with a good trait and a bad trait.
Sure.
And he looked like one of the dudes from the cards in my game because that's how like fake he looks.
Right. I thought the Brad from Home Improvement was the most Brad-looking Brad I've ever seen, but this guy has out-Braded him.
Like, yeah, I mean, anytime you hear the word Brad, the big-ass blonde dumb dude that you picture, that's him.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So...
Sorry to any Brads listening out there. I'm sure you're wonderful.
I'm sure you got made fun of because of the whatever the fucking gold metal brass piece that attaches things. You don't know what brads are?
No.
They call them brads. You know those little. So they've got like a circle on the end, and then two like prongs that come down like this.
Okay, I know what that is.
Put them through a hole, and then you pull the things apart.
We weren't on a first name basis.
You didn't know their government name? They're called brads.
Okay. Weird.
Yeah. You know what else is funny? You know, like punch cards and stuff like that. When you punch a hole out of a punch card, that little piece of paper, that little circle, is called a chad.
Okay. Why do you know these things?
I don't know.
You see, you act like I am the crazy one. I don't spend my time learning things like what the fuck a chad is.
Don't you think that's hilarious?
And a brad.
It's called a chad.
A chad and a brad.
Yeah. And if you punch it and it doesn't go all the way through, and it like, you know, that's like a piece like hangs down, they call it a hanging chad.
Who?
I don't know.
Who is they?
People.
Who takes the time
People
to call it to think about it, let alone name it?
People in office buildings.
I don't think so. I think that you are hallucinating, sir.
Okay, probably.
Okay.
So we watched a Britney Spears music video that masqueraded as a movie. Drive me crazy. They played it once during the movie, and then they played it over the credits at the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. Drive me crazy. I just can't sleep.
Uh-huh.
I'm so excited. I'm in too deep.
They actually had some decent music in this movie.
Yeah. What do you think of Britney Spears?
She's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. She's kind of... I like her music, but it's also kind of generic, you know?
Yeah. Is she the most generic Britney-looking Britney out there?
No.
Should Britney and Brad date?
Oh, my God. No, I think Megan and Brad should date.
You know what
Not
I got
really, though.
super confused about in this movie?
What?
So...
Nicole? Was that her name? What the fuck was her name? It's going to drive me crazy.
It was probably drive me crazy. It's probably Nicole. It wasn't Megan. She doesn't look like a Megan.
Okay.
It's all good. All right. It's okay. So, anyway, what was I trying to say?
It's
I was going to
right.
I was going to say something.
As far as I can see.
I was going to say something, and you fucking derailed me. You do that all the time.
That is my job. That's what you pay me for.
It's not your job. What was I talking about?
What annoyed you or confused you? Confused you.
Yes, thank you. Okay. You know what confused me about this movie?
What?
Brad, the star basketball player, the white star basketball player on the team, he runs into this cheerleader. So he kind of likes Melissa Joan Hart's character. First of all, there are several things. There are several things that confused me. One, they keep mentioning time zone. Is the name of their city time zone? Is the name of their high school time zone? What the fuck? Where do they like? Does this take place in a fucking like purgatory dimension or something like that? Why? I don't know what the name of the town is. I don't know what the name of the high school is. I don't know what time zone is. But like, why would you name a high school or a city time zone?
I don't think they did.
Then why did they have a Mr. and Mrs. Time Zone?
Because this was a millennia dance. This was a millennia party, and I think it was in on theme, on brand for celebrating the new millennia.
But they keep mentioning how does Time Zone? How does that celebrate the millennium?
Time. Like
what the fuck? Why not Miss Millennium?
The new millennia.
Why not Miss Millennium?
Because they're idiots, okay? You know, like, seriously.
I think you're wrong.
I think you're wrong. I don't think the school or the town is called Time Zone. Like, what sense does it... What I just said
agree.
makes so much more sense than what you just said. Yes, it does.
Miss Time Zone. If I came to you, we had never watched this movie, and I said, they're crowding Miss Time Zone, what do you think that's for? Your response would be, oh, probably because of the millennium.
I would think of a stewardess or... a watchmaker.
That makes sense, actually. Stewardess makes a lot of sense.
I don't know. It was weird. You know what, though? Melissa Joan Hart in this movie reminded me so much of fucking, what's her name? The other blonde. The little blonde girl from Cruel Intentions.
Oh, Sarah Michelle Gellar?
No.
Reese Witherspoon?
Reese Witherspoon. She reminded me so much of Reese Witherspoon, and her character was even kind of similar to Reese Witherspoon, except way less uptight. But
well, yeah, because she was like, I wouldn't say slutty, but she was like, yeah.
She wasn't a good girl.
No, not at all.
She was a drinker,
well,
number one.
And she wore a halter top. Lots of people were drinkers in this movie.
There was a lot of teenage drinking in this movie.
A lot.
So much so that they had a dude named Designated Dave.
Right. Who was not a bad idea. Someone you can call to get a ride from.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think every high school and college should have.
Absolutely. I agree. It's a great service. They should pay him.
Yeah, he just volunteers, doesn't he? Yeah, I mean, he seems like a doormat, so.
Well, that's his whole character trait, or his whole character arc, is that he's a doormat. Mm-hmm. But what confused me, real quick, before we get into the rest of the movie, what confused me is, so Melissa Joan Hart wants a date for this big dance that she's planned. Mm-hmm. And she wants to go out with Brad, and she's talking about, like, there are rules, and, like, she seems very, like, segmented, like Stepford wife almost. Mm-hmm. Like society has these rules, and and I'm popular and you're popular. We must go together, you know, like, kind of thing and everything. And it seems like he likes her, and he's gonna ask her out and all this stuff. And then he runs into a cheerleader and falls in love with this rival cheerleader from whatever team they were playing. There is also a mousy little blonde woman who I think was also a cheerleader here as well, and she's like part of the friend group. She ends up talking to Adrian Grenier and says like, "Oh, I used to be fat, and then I lost a bunch of weight."
Oh yeah, Divine,
yeah. I confused the two of them. Like it never I confused the cheerleader he ran in with her.
Oh no!
Like I thought like, oh, that's the girl he likes now. Like. They didn't make it very clear who was the girl he was dating now.
I don't think it mattered.
Because it turns out that she was dating some other asshole, Eddie.
Yeah. Divine?
Yeah, Divine, yeah.
Yeah, because then he, like, sexually assaults her in the back of Designated Dave's car.
Yeah. Not Divine, John Waters, Divine. Not Divine, the actress that acted in John Waters movies.
Okay.
Pretty Baby or whatever the fuck it was called, or I don't know.
I don't know. She said that she used to be fat.
Right. I mentioned that. And
she changed her name from what? It was something pig related.
Oh, Bovine.
Yeah, her name was Bovine. Well, she changed it to Divine.
Her name wasn't Bovine. Her last name is Vine.
Obviously.
So they called her Bovine.
Yeah, but I mean, so she changed her first name from Bo to D.
Her first name wasn't ever Bo.
What was it?
I don't know. Becky or something normal. Not fucking Bo.
But I mean, it was like her nickname.
Yeah, it was a hell of a nickname. Jesus Christ. She loved it. Bovine. She started calling herself Divine so that, like, you know, I don't know, whatever, people would stop thinking about bovine, I guess.
Bovine and cows, right? Not pigs.
Yeah, correct. Bovine is a cow. She I don't know if that actress was ever overweight, but she has the kind of face where you're like, oh, I could imagine she was overweight.
Yeah, she had like a round, fuller face.
Yeah, she's got,
super cute though.
Yeah, she's very cute and very thin. Not saying anything bad about her at all, but
because the worst thing in the world would be fat. I mean,
no, I'm just saying I'm not trying to insult her. The fuck?
No,
you trying to pick a fight with me?
Maybe. No, she was beautiful. I think she was actually like the prettiest girl in the film.
Even prettier than Melissa Joan Hart?
Yes.
Or Adrian Grenier?
Well, no, because that's a dude. I said girl.
What about Allie Larder?
What about Allie Larder?
Who
the fuck is that?
That was the one that played his...
his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, his ex-girlfriend.
No, she's really hot.
Yeah, she is.
She's different than pretty, though. She's hot. But she didn't look like a high schooler. She looked like she was a college girl. She looked more mature than these other girls.
That's true. They're probably all around the same age, but she's not as young looking as the rest of the cast, I agree.
But
So these two are neighbors.
Melissa Joan Hart
and Adrian Grenier.
Yeah.
They're neighbors, and they used to like each other. They hung out together all the time and everything. And then
they were friends. They didn't romantically like each other. When they were little kids,
they
were
little kids, yeah. And their mom's like, well, what happened? Or whatever. And she's like, junior high happened. In front of this guy's dad.
Yeah.
Like, indicating that, like, he's an asshole or she hates him or something.
And then we get the story later, and she's the asshole.
Right.
Which is weird.
It is weird.
I mean, yeah, because what we find out is that this dude's mom died. Like, she was terminally ill, and Melissa Joan Hart's character could not handle it.
Yeah.
So she just stopped talking to him. Yeah. Like,
she couldn't go into the house. She couldn't face the stuff. So, and I mean, like, her friend is hurting.
Yeah, it was awful. I mean, that's an awful thing to do to your friend. Yeah. But then what else? There was more to it.
Okay.
There was more to it because then he did something to her too. No. I thought it was like he did something to her too. It wasn't just her.
No. Oh. Not that I remember.
I feel like we're forgetting something important.
Okay.
But she apologizes. So
she does. That happens at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
That's part of the I don't know, arc of the film. This is what kind of, I don't know what we haven't said what we thought about the movie yet. I don't know what you thought about the movie. I don't know if I want to say I liked it until I didn't.
Okay.
But I was sort of interested in it until it became every other teen romantic comedy movie.
Okay.
Because they have a few elements that are interesting and different and new. Chase is a part of this group that are like counterculture kind of like subversives where they want to like disrupt the status quo and everyone's sheep and stuff like that. And that's Allie Larder, that's his girlfriend, is a big part of that too. The thing that breaks them up is that she wants to go protest an animal testing thing, and he's like, I don't want to do that, I'm not into that. And because he doesn't want to do this one thing, she breaks up with him, which is ridiculous, and maybe their relationship wasn't that strong to begin with.
Right.
Maybe they were only together because they liked doing protest shit together. And when he didn't want to do that anymore, she's like, oh, fuck it, I'll find somebody else.
Well, it was partially that, but he was also being a dick to her.
Well, he was being a dick to her.
She said, like, he had stopped talking to her in the car or whatever, something like that. Like,
yeah.
Or no. Yeah, she was like, you're not listening to me or not talking to me or whatever. He's like, we talked in the car.
Yeah, that was pretty fucked up. But, so, he doesn't want to do that, and it's later revealed he doesn't want to do that because his mom had cancer, and they do animal testing for cancer treatments and stuff, and it's like, okay. I mean, like, sure, yeah. And a lot of the times what people are protesting is, like, how they fucking smear mascara into rabbits' eyes and shit like that to see if it will be harmful to people. Like, that's a lot of times what they are protesting when they're protesting animal testing and stuff.
Right.
I don't think anyone is like, oh, we want to completely stop animal and human testing of medical products. I don't think there are people that are really just like that are really against that. I mean, unless like I guess super hardcore PETA types maybe, but I mean, I don't think there are a lot of people like that.
Also, though, like, we don't really know because it's only Melissa Joan Hart's theory. Like, he doesn't come right out and explain it or say this is why.
That's true.
She just says that to the ex-girlfriend. She's just like, oh, well, you know, his mom died of cancer. And
so we've got these elements of, like, his mom dying, him dealing with tragedy with that, their fractured friendship, the subversive elements and everything, her and her relationship with her father, which is very strained.
Yeah, her father's, like, pretty absent.
Seventh Heaven's own Stephen Collins.
Yeah.
But so we have all these interesting elements, right? And for a lot of the runtime of the movie, we kind of play with these elements, and they're somewhat interconnected, you know. And like Melissa Joan Hart finds out that like her best friend's basically like fucking fake and shit, like and like her whole like social circle kind of crumbles a little bit.
Yeah, because they're all fake.
Yeah, and they could do something with that too, right? But at the end, all it really comes down to is, oh, he kissed this girl. There's our big misunderstanding thing. Oh, we come together at the dance and everything. Like, all the dialogue is so generic, and all the, like, that last third of the movie, all the dialogue's generic, all the situations are generic. It's like every one of these other movies. That's how everything gets wrapped up. And I wanted a more interesting ending.
Yeah.
Because the movie was more interesting for the first 2/3. I wanted like a little bit more of a nuanced ending than this.
Yeah, I agree. It was a little disappointing. Like, I felt entertained, and then I was like, oh, I've seen this movie.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really what it came down to. Is I felt like, oh, I've seen this before. I've seen this many times before. Like, and before that, there was more to it.
I still don't understand the whole thing with her friend, though.
Yeah,
like,
that never gets fully resolved either.
But like, her friend just like comes on to him when he's super drunk, and so he kisses her. And then Melissa Joan Hart's all mad at him, but like, they were still pretending at that point to be together. They weren't actually together.
And she was talking to Brad. Part of the reason he kissed the other girl is because he saw her go into the other room with Brad, and like, presumably, because the whole point, I mean, if you haven't seen the movie, you're insane for listening to this far. But the whole point is that their significant others broke up with them or whatever. You know, like Brad fell in love with somebody else. Dulcie that's Ali Larter's character, is, you know, they broke up and everything. So they're pretending to date each other to make the others jealous. And he sees this and he's like, oh, it's working. Like, they've started to fall in love at this point, but he's like, oh, it's working for her. So, I mean, he thinks like, okay, whatever, I can kiss this whore. But she also, like, the friend also says to Brad, like basically implies like, hey, you know, the girl you're dating or whatever, she might not, you know, be into you or whatever, but I'll fuck you.
Yeah, she does. She's like, oh yeah, she's all talk, and he's like, well, most girls are all talk, and she's like, not all girls.
And she breaks up that relationship too, because this is where I figured out that the formerly fat girl, Divine, wasn't the one he was dating, because she's talking to the girl that like a cliff or something like that. I think this was filmed in Utah. They're at this cliff, like these rapids. They're sitting on inner tubes and everything. And she says, "Oh yeah, it's a shame about Brad's family. They're all fucking nuts. They're doomsday preppers and shit." And she's like, "What?" And then she breaks up with Brad because of that.
Yeah,
so she
crazy.
breaks up their relationship. It's like implies that she'll fuck him, and then he goes to go back to Melissa Joan Hart, but Melissa Joan Hart turns him down.
Yeah, because she's not into him anymore.
Right, she likes Adrian Grenier, who all of a sudden, all you need to do is give him like the simplest makeover in the world. This is even worse than She's All That, where it's like, oh, she's got glasses and a ponytail. Take her glasses off and let her hair down. Oh, she's gorgeous Rachel Lee Cook now.
I honestly think he looked better before the makeover, but that's just more my type.
But the thing is like they don't do much. All they do is push his hair out of his eyes.
Yeah, well, they brush it. Like it's before it's a little
your type is unbrushed hair.
A little messy. And he's dressed in like the
Gap. They dress him in Gap clothes or fucking whatever, Land's End or whatever.
Oh, I think they did take him to Gap. I think they said Gap.
Yeah,
which is
the Gap, by the way. Not. I mean, I don't know. You're on a nickname basis with the Gap, but
I guess
it's the Gap. Okay, not just Gap.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely not like he's in the witness protection program. Like he looks very much the same.
Yeah, he looks almost exactly the same. But all of a sudden now, all the girls are like, oh my God, oh, what's your fucking perfect date? I'm going to salivate over your answer. It's fucking weird.
It is. Well, and like the thing is, like I said, he wasn't bad before, and I think that it's kind of fucked up that they're acting as though changing his outfit is going to change his whole social standing. Mm-hmm. But
and then they make a movie. This is the other thing too. His buddies make this movie. His buddies are very talented in movie making and stuff like that. Like this guy makes a video for one of the bands, and it's like it's very inventive and looks great and everything, especially for the low budget it had to be made on. But they make this video and they show a lot of shots of him, by the way. This seems very personal.
Oh, it was definitely an attack on him.
They're very angry at him for leaving them or whatever. But they...
Ow, what the fuck? He just kicked me.
Sorry, that was a spasm. I just had a spasm in my foot. But they make this video where... they're showing him like at the game and everything, and everyone's cheering like "Go fight, go" and stuff. And then they're overdubbing it or like fade transitioning to like Nazi salutes and everything. They're equating fascism with pep rallies and it's stuff people have, like ideas people have spread before about the regimented nature of the high school experience and everything. But it's all like agree or disagree that there are elements of fascism in high school. It's an interesting point of view for one of these teen movies. Like they're taking an actual point of view of what they think, but they don't do anything with it, and it's so disappointing. They just show that video and that's it. Like,
what else would they do?
I mean, it should inform the movie. Like, Melissa Joan Hart never really reacts to it. Like, they could juxtapose that with her realizing how fake and weird and like robotic her sheep-like her friends are, and connect those ideas to her motivation and her like character arc, but they really don't.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I would be interested in seeing a movie that was a subversion of this whole genre, where it takes that definitive point of view. And it seemed like the movie had a definitive point of view like that for a while, and then at the end, the writers were just like, nah, fuck it, let's just do what they all do.
Oh my God. They also showed him vomiting in this video like multiple times, which I think was really shitty.
Well, yeah, his friends were shitty to him, and like the guy designated Dave or whatever. He talks to him about how he needs to stand up for himself or whatever. They don't respect you. Stand up to them. And then he tries to, and he gets fucking beaten.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the guy gets maced, so I guess it all works out in the end.
I mean, he had to do something. That guy was assaulting a girl. I mean, like...
yeah.
He couldn't have not stepped in.
No, I agree. And in the easiest plot twist to figure out ever, He's talking to some girl online, daughter Judy, because she's really into science fiction.
Is that her real name, Judy? Maybe.
Is whose real name?
Oh, Divine.
Maybe, I don't know. But she's talking to her. It was talking to daughter Judy. You're ruining the twist. And throughout the whole thing, he's like trying to meet, and they don't meet, and everything. He's like, "Oh, she's gonna take me to the dance or whatever." She says, "Come to her place and meet her," and it turns out to be Divine.
Did Divine know it was him?
No, because she's like, She goes, I'm really glad it was you. It's kind
of like You've Got Mail.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen it before.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, and that, like I said, that's the easiest. It would have been more satisfying if he hadn't met her on the internet, and they just talked and realized, oh, we have lots of things in common. Mm-hmm. Instead, all their talking and getting close to each other happens off screen.
Yeah.
And we just hear about it a little bit.
Well, I mean, they're not the main focus of the movie.
No, I understand that, but I mean, she has a little heart-to-heart with Chase. So, yeah. I don't know. I mean, that's not my biggest gripe with the movie. Overall, it's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it.
No.
It's just it's disappointing to me because it doesn't it challenges some preconceived notions about the genre and the tropes, and then it doesn't have the balls to follow through with it.
Yeah, I'd say it's a renter and not not a movie theater.
No, you don't
quality movie.
You don't need to go see it in the movie theater. But
I mean, it's entertaining if you like this kind of movie. You'll enjoy watching this. It's nothing different or exciting.
No. Wait for it to come to Blockbuster, or we just signed up for this this week. There's this new thing called Netflix.
Yeah.
Where there's no late fees. That's the big thing. No late fees. You have to sign up for different, we're not paid by Netflix, by the way, just so you know. You sign up for different levels. You can get, I think it's one movie at a time, or 2 movies at a time, or 3 movies at a time.
Yeah.
And you just say what you want. You put it in the queue, what you want. And when it's available, they send it to your house in a little envelope. And then you watch it or whatever. And then you send it back.
And when they receive it, they'll send the next movie in your queue.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, I have 50 movies in the queue.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard
yeah.
Like, I mean, it's like, I like going to Blockbuster and walking around and looking at the movies.
Right.
But, like, when you can just sit and make a list and, like, it's like, there's a lot of movies that I still want to see.
Yeah, it's cool. So, yeah, check out Netflix if you want to. And, maybe, I don't know, send them a letter and say, hey, this is where we heard about you from. And maybe they'll send us money.
Maybe.
But yeah, I mean, that's all I really have to say about the movie.
That's all I have to say about that.
Oh, what's that?
Isn't that from, Big? Not Big. The Tom Hanks movie. Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump.
My God.
It's from Forrest Gump.
Oh my God.
Right? Isn't it?
What's his first name? Baskin. Last name is Baskin. I can't remember his first name. Baskin. I may not be an adult, but I know what love is. Yeah, it's fucking from Forrest Gump. Big. What is his name? It's something Baskin.
It is Baskin, but I don't
Adam
know.
Baskin,
No,
Charles Baskin.
No.
Josh Baskin.
There you go.
All right. Anyway, that is the episode for the week. Carol, tell people where they can find their own Zoltan machine from.
You can write us at latefee1994@AOL.com. Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Yep.
And share the tapes with your friends.
I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.